Hello and welcome back to Seaside Garage. I just got my first EV. I am sponsored by Skill and I just got this mower from Skill, and I have nothing against electrical motors or cars in general, but they don't really interest me that much. But a mower and battery power, that's nice. As you can hear, it's not very loud. But this video is not about grass mowing. And here it is. The very moldy, nasty, rusty Mercedes-Benz station wagon 300 turbo diesel. It's the perfect one. This one is just so rough. The gearbox is not working. I did find another one though. It's rusty in every panel where you look. The interior is worn. It got 728,000 kilometers on the clock. The engine is rebuilt, but other than that, it doesn't have a lot of good things going for it. But working on the green one that I have been working on the last few videos just made me want to take a closer look. I did make a video on this one a while back where I bought this to use it as a winter daily, but it turned out to be even worse than I was expecting, and I was expecting pretty bad. Check that video out if you want to look at a lot of rust and desperation. This video will probably be the same, but if you want to know the history of this car, then you can take a look at that. But what I want to do in this video is to strip it. I want to remove the carpets, the seats. I want to take a better look at the floor pan, because that is the bad area. And maybe it isn't as bad as I thought, because a lot of these floor pans are just replaceable, but it is really looking bad. The thing is, I have been trying to sell this. Nobody wants to buy it, at least not for the kind of money that I'm asking, because I have a lot of money in this car and I don't want to give it away for free, and I don't want to scrap it either. I could end up parting it out in parts, because there's a lot of stuff on this that people want, the engine, the SLS system, but I really dislike scrapping cars and parting them out, but it is the better solution if it's not possible to save it. But a part of me would just like to start the rust repairs and then just do a bit, get bored, park it, then take it back a while later, do a bit, get bored, park it, and suddenly one day this will be drivable again. It's actually MOT'd still, but I did take the number plates off because there's a lot of rust. But I'm gonna remove all the seats, all the crap in here, and take a better look at everything. There's rust on every single panel on this car, and there's rust places like there and so on. But what I want to do is to just remove the seats and get a better look at the floor pans. We know it's bad there. But it is just floor, and I can actually buy the outer sill and the floor pan, and with that I think I'm a long way in fixing this part of it at least. But it's all about the sum of all the rust, because that alone wouldn't be too bad, but it's probably like that many places. So I'm gonna just strip it. I'm gonna take the seats out, and I don't care if it rains, because they are so disgusting that they needs a pressure wash anyway. So yeah, let's get to work. Starting this strip down of the interior feels a little bit weird, because there is a very big chance that this never comes back together again. I hope it will, but to be honest, I'm not having huge hope about it. Normally you guys are always so supportive and so, yeah, you can fix it. But on this one, I get a lot of scrap it, kill it off, get another one, and I can totally understand it. But I just really like this car, and I'm not in a position where I can pay for one in good condition. And it could be cool to save this one. But honestly, it is very far gone. Here comes the transmission that I paid more than 500 euros for, before realizing that the car was, well, the transmission wasn't the biggest problem. But remember, this was and is still MOT'd. It's in theory legal to drive, but it isn't though, because you do need to make sure that the stuff you drive is safe, even though it's MOT'd, and this one is not safe. So not only is this a 300 turbo diesel, which is probably one of the most wanted versions of these, maybe the 2.8 petrol is more wanted, but this one also got the rare extra rear seat, which is very moldy. I think I'm gonna mask up for this. It's so rusty in here that even the bracket for this came apart. So, yeah. Gonna get a vacuum out here. I'm taking a break from this, and I'm going to remove the front wings and see how bad it is in there. And I will start by removing the bumper. I think that's the easiest way when I need to remove them on both sides. If this restoration ever is going to happen, and I'm not sure I'm even going to try, but if, and I would really like a lot of body panels for this. This gotta be an import, because this is aftermarket installed blinkers and they are mandatory in Denmark, but it's not from factory. And the one sold in Denmark was made like that from factory. So this gotta be an import. Did I forget? Yeah, I forgot one. It's just glued together everywhere. All this damage, rust damage on this car is due to the drains up here not being cleaned and not being maintained, leading to water getting down here into the cabin and rusting out the entire floor. That's the problem, just lack of maintenance of the drain system. It's such a shame. What I'm pulling out right now is a rubber plug that someone has put into the drain at some point. Yeah, it's bad. And this is the good side, by the way. So now it's time to take a look at the bad side. Might actually be better, but it is really bad. And once again, I can't trust the areas that looks decent to be decent because of all this crap that has been glued on top of everything. This is where the previous repairs are. I'm tempted to say that the car was as rusty as this before the previous repairs, and now it's back to pretty much the same again. This is the drain up here, but it's not supposed to drain in to this area, so that would need to be opened up to fix the drains. It's pretty bad. It's time to take a tour of what I have found. This in here is the floor pans, or what's left of them. I removed a lot of the sound deadening insulation that actually makes it look decent without it being. But this is, as you can see, very rusty. It's very clear to me that the drains up there has been bad. Water has been seeping down this area, running along the wiring into this area and rusted the rear of it out. You can actually see the water line right there. So it's just been soaked in water. The thing is that I can buy the entire floor pan for I think around 130 euros per side. So that's not that bad, to be honest. That repair panel will stop right around there. So all this up here, I cannot find panels for that area. So that will have to be reconstructed. The outer sill though is also available and quite cheap actually, so that takes care of the outer part of that area up there. So yeah, that's not that bad either. This part out here would just have to be reconstructed. I cannot find panels for that either, and it would be very important to actually remove the outer layer or the outer panel to repair the drains, because otherwise it would just be a problem again very soon. This area in here, stuff like this is really worrying, because this is a repair panel that has just been, it's just a patch on top of something, and I'm a little bit unsure how the actual rigidity of the car is in this area, and if it's possible for me to reconstruct it in a satisfying way. That is the concerning areas. And also this area is actually a part of the attachment of the rear axle, and yeah, it's just it's so ruddy. So this is another very giant leap down the rabbit hole of the 123. Have I decided something? Not really, but my mind hasn't been changed that much since the previous video, and I think it's too far gone. Looking at it, if this was my only project that I was just working on only, it would be doable. But remember, I have a lot of projects. I like to work on multiple cars, and I get bored and then I change my mind and all that. And in that regard, this one doesn't really fit that well. But as mentioned, a part of me would just like to just start the repairs, do some stuff, get bored, park it, do some stuff, get bored, park it, and then suddenly one day it would probably be solid enough to actually be usable again. The problem with that plan is that it will cost more money. I will sink even more money into this money pit, but I would quite quickly be 500 euros in on panels, maybe even close to 1,000, and it would just be lost if it didn't succeed. Still haven't decided. I think I actually might just start to do some repairs, random places on the car, and see how that feels. And if it doesn't really feel good, then I will just drop the price and try to sell it as a donor vehicle for another one. But now at least I know a lot more about the scope of the job. And the positive thing is that I'm not that scared of the floor pan rust anymore. I am actually pretty certain that I could fix that decently. It's more the structural areas in the firewall department that I'm slightly worried about. There's no doubt about the fact that the best thing would be to find another donor shell that I could put all this stuff on. The problem with that is, unless that shell is a Danish 300 turbo diesel, it will mean that I would have to pay a lot of tax, and the chance of finding a 300 turbo diesel shell in good condition that is missing all the other parts is probably quite slim. Maybe I should just try and swap the Porsche for a good condition one of these. Anyway, thanks for watching. Remember, you can support me on Patreon. I think I will promise that if I get 1,000 Patreons from this video, I will fix it to pristine condition. Or you should actually be careful saying stuff like that on the internet. But anyway, thanks for watching, and see you in the next one.